So yeah, Yavtik is definitely where my heart lies in the comics.
Yeah, if you want to get into voiceover, you got to do it because you love it. You can't do it because you want to be rich and famous, especially because you're legit doing a job that people don't know your face.
You know, in my comic, there's a number of sentient computers and video game consoles that have happened over the years.
I should have a film. I thought it was going to be the end of this year. I think it's going to be next year. There should be a film called Badness coming.
I think we're up to 6 Star Wars children's books now that I've illustrated.
I'm here!
I'm here.
The dork behind the drawing. No, no.
Yay!
Don't look him directly in the face.
I draw cartoons for a living, and you can't tell me that the stuff that, you know, that we're producing nowadays is just for kids.
Heaven and Hell is now the longest running webcomic. I started in September 1995, and it's never missed a day since.
When I announced that I was voicing for Inuyasha's daughter, everyone was like, what? Like,
that was all well and good until, you know, I was giving Phil a ride one day and he said, so how's your boyfriend? And I said, well, we're breaking up. And Phil said, oh, really?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Creators Corner on Planet Flipside.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Dixie's pushing buttons.
I am. Go ahead and say hi.
But Donna did that. Where were you?
Hi, my name's Eliza.
Are you mouthing today at me? Just mouth at me?
Always.
Hi, my name's Eliza. I'm an alcoholic. I only drink on the weekends.
Uni, if you want to be part of the show, you got to get on the table.
Yeah, if you want to be part of the show, get up on the tables. That's what Mel said. Rules.
What? So tonight we have Sphealie. Oh, I forgot that I'm reversed.
Howdy.
Welcome.
I feel welcome. Very welcoming aura.
Thank you.
Yay! That's what we aim for.
Yeah.
It's much better than what I usually get told, which is that I'm intimidating. Started even saying it.
I don't get easily intimidated, so
I'll try harder. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll try harder.
Yeah, put a little effort into it.
Put a little effort.
So Sphealie, what do you do?
Oh, go ahead.
You were taking too long.
Yeah, so many words, different directions. Yeah, so I am a poet. That's what I am mainly doing these days. So I write poetry every single day and post it on TikTok. Sometimes up to 2 or 3 poems a day. Usually I write them the same day. So it's a lot of just throwing stuff at the wall sometimes.
Right.
So yeah, and just trying not to like say the same things over and over again. I try to keep it unique. I track like the analytics to see, okay, people liked this. They didn't like this quite as much. Maybe I can do something a little different, but you know, it's helped my writing immensely, getting the audience and just, you know, giving me something to work towards every single day is a big step up. You know, because when you're just writing and you don't have that audience, it's super hard to like know, is this good at all, or what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Right.
You second guess yourself so much. So actually getting to get one-to-one feedback has been great. And I really didn't expect anybody. Poetry is one of those things. People either like it or it's like, this is grade school stuff. Or you're too emo, you're too emotional, and it's like, I'm not trying to be that. I'm just writing my feelings.
Why is that
Hey,
such a bad
Jelly
thing?
Bean.
Why is it bad to be emotional?
I don't know. I think, some people are just embarrassed by it.
Yes.
I think that's the main thing. It's just being honest with yourself and putting stuff out there, especially if you don't do it in a kind of tact and kind of positive way. People get overwhelmed by what you're saying, and it can be misconstrued as you're trauma dumping or you're oversharing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's there's a fine line to walk. Share some stuff. Please don't share everything. I've seen some poets where I'm like, dang, I actively feel worse after listening to that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or it's
so I'm one of the most guarded people you'll ever meet. So that wasn't really fair of me to ask that question. But
oh no, it's completely fine. Being guarded is not necessarily a bad thing. Keeping
it
to
is.
yourself,
I don't like it, but
as long as you have ways to express yourself, I think that's the main thing. You can be guarded and still get that sense of expression. That's why I do it. Yeah. I like to express my thoughts. I used to be big into theater and big into performing, and I still am. And that's a lot of outward performance.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to be up on that stage and constantly have to be on or be a character, just turn yourself up to 20.
Right.
You got to be constantly with it. And the way I always decompress was I would write, because it's this is my voice. This is how I feel. This is my quiet hobby.
Yeah.
This is me, not what I'm portraying.
Exactly. And oddly enough, it just came to a point where that's what really took over. Instead of the theater stuff, I was like, I would like to do this more, because this feels more honest to me, and I don't have to worry about other people being so nice to me sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Theater people can be catty at the best of times. It's wonderful.
Right.
I love my haters. They're so much fun to play with.
See,
I'm terrible.
I don't do stuff like that. I like to keep it positive, even if people aren't feeling it. I approach things respectfully and just.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she does. It's like art the way Dixie does it. It's beautiful.
I just see it as.
I'm a mammy.
I see it from the point of view everybody's got something they can learn from somebody else.
Yeah.
So don't just dismiss somebody outright. There's probably a reason they say what they say. And, on the internet, some people just go out to create havoc just for fun and ruin people's days just for fun.
True.
But as long as
when we used to go live on an app called Likey, which not a part of our lives anymore.
Talk about it anymore.
But there would be people that would come in and just, trolling, and, Vixie would are you okay? Did something happen today? Do you need a hug? And, they just eventually would go away. But yeah, that's more the vibe. When we say she's playing with them, she is, but not in a negative, nasty way.
And that's exactly it. I think having a discourse and just being able to talk to people is a skill a lot of people have lost in the modern day.
Agreed.
Being able to talk with people that have differing opinions. You never get ahead if you don't learn from each other. You just tear each other down. And then progress stops, which is what we see a lot in today's world.
Yeah.
Right.
Hubby says, my type is not wanting to put myself out there, but really opening up in small groups. I say I'm a closeted exhibitionist.
And that's wonderful, do whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't want to put yourself out there, don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
he
find
was a complete introvert when we first met.
Exactly, and you can find an avenue to release those emotions however you want. So,
Closet, not closeted.
yeah.
Sorry.
Exhibitionist.
Exhibitionist.
Oh yeah.
Very important distinction to have.
I know.
A couple letters just have a whole different meaning.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
It's a whole new story.
Yeah.
Well, and then back to, why do people have to be so emotional? There are a lot of people that can relate to every level of whatever emotion that you're putting out. It may not be for everybody, but it can resonate with someone and make them not feel so alone.
See, and that's what I found is like my main audience. It's those people that aren't afraid to like feel and stuff. I have people who are more quiet. And, I try to keep it positive. Lately I've been doing like a daily positive speech because my speech giving skills are definitely one of my best traits. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say they needed to hear it. They don't have that type of like support system around them, but it was just nice to hear it out loud and directed at them. And, that's something so easy to do. And
right.
Absolutely free. And most of the time I just start the camera and just start talking and saying nice things. And that doesn't hurt me. In fact, it makes me feel better because I get that positive feedback back as well.
Right.
And when it comes to like opening up in small groups, I'm more scared in small groups. I have been in front of audiences of thousands of people and I'll be fine. I mean, I'll just talk straight to them and, because I am an entertainer at heart in a lot of ways, but like once you like close that in and it's like 5 people, that's when I start getting nervous because their opinions mean so much more because there's less of them and they're
it's
right
more
there
intimate.
directly in front of you. And it's like, if I mess this up in a small group, I'm going to get to know about it the rest of the night. So it's like, you said I got to really know them. Exactly. That makes it easier. I mean, going into a small group with people you don't know is always scary, no matter who you are. Because you're like, these people could be insane, and you're not.
Could be crazy.
Exactly. And I don't know them. So.
Well, things do get a little crazy here sometimes.
I didn't mean it as a reflection on
No,
this,
that's okay.
And they might not be my kind of crazy.
Exactly.
There's crazy that there's crazy.
Everybody's got a certain comfort level, and I always think you should push your comfort level a little bit and at least try something new.
Yeah.
At least once.
That's how you grow.
Exactly. And, I just think, I was super afraid to put my stuff out there at first because, like I said, I thought, who's going to want to hear this? But once I started doing it and I started picking up more and more people noticing it, it made me feel better about it. Now it's just like my daily routine. It's like get up or the night before, write a poem or two, go to bed, wake up at like the ungodly early hours I wake up, watch TV, and then record 2 or 3 poems and just put them out there and see how they do. And I've connected with people because of one of the poems I posted. I ended up going to an open mic night with some people that I met from it, and
nice.
It's just opening up my world, and that's really why I wanted to do it, was to connect with people, because I know in my poems I talk about stuff people would like to hear about or people struggle with, and I know it helps people to know they're not alone. So that was really the goal, and I have connected with people, and now the goal is just to get it to as many people as I can.
Right.
So
Are you considering publishing?
I do have a book on Amazon already. I self-published it. It's called Burning Pages, Poems That Hurt and Heal. I've sold about... Title. Thank you. It took me... That was the last thing I did. You should always do the title last. No, there's actually a really good thing about that. You always do the title last because you don't know what shape the piece is going to take or what shape the story is going to take. And if you do the title first, it restricts you too much because you're thinking, because then you think, I can't, it doesn't fit with this. And, you know, having something that fits is way more important than having something that's cool that restricts you.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I self-published that myself on Amazon. I've sold like, I want to say about 40 copies, which, you know, not like astronomical numbers, but my following's still growing. So my plan is just to keep writing books as it keeps growing and just build a catalog and just,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, see how far it takes me. You know, I never thought I was going to get a book out last year, but I did. And it was really cool to see. I have a copy of it somewhere.
That's fantastic.
I think my mom's currently has it, but yeah, so I thought that was super cool, and that's something I never would have done if I hadn't taken that leap and put myself out there. So
Right.
Can't go anywhere standing still.
that's exactly it. And,
Yep.
it's so easy to stand still and not even realize it. So
Yep.
you think you're
Sometimes we
moving
get stagnant.
forward, but yeah, that's exactly it. So no, it was a lot of cool experiences, and you know, it's helping me enjoy my writing in ways I never thought I would.
So is your main direction right now TikTok?
Yeah, that's kind of.
Okay.
I feel like it has the biggest audience potential right now because I know personally a lot of people in my family use it. Everybody I talk to uses it, and I just don't. You know, I think it's an easy platform to use because of the shorter times I can get a poem out. And, you know, if I were to use something like YouTube, I don't know how well with YouTube's algorithm, poetry and stuff like that does.
Actually, they have what's called shorts on there.
Yeah.
Now. They're about 2 minutes long-ish. And so that if you wanted to get even more of a following, it would be something you might want to look into.
Yeah, I might do that because all the videos
We
I
have
do
some
are-
shorts in our, if you look in our
Yeah, do those do pretty well?
playlists. Say that again?
I say, do those do pretty well?
They do better than our shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're already doing them for TikTok, so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to do them for YouTube as
I
well and just see how it
download
goes.
the TikTok.
Yeah.
Just download TikTok without. I don't like watermarks, so I use a app for that.
Yeah, no. And I mean, it's just reading a poem, so I could easily re-record. I mean, I have a big hard drive full of poetry. I mean, you write 2 a day. That's
Yeah, that's a lot.
You quickly build up a large repertoire of work. And you know, sometimes you repeat yourself and sometimes you hit similar themes, but no 2 poems are exactly the same. You know, you find new ways to say things. So it's super fun, and that's part of the challenge. It's like a puzzle. It's like putting it all together, seeing how it fits. You know, I work with a lot of rhyme schemes and stuff, and that's how it helps me complete it, because I look at it like, what rhymes with this and what will make sense.
Yeah.
And then it almost writes itself at that point.
Do you ever show your work in progress to anybody?
You know, I did do a TikTok live once where I did that. It's really hard for me to... Okay, so it's really hard for me to explain my process when doing that stuff. Because I absolutely am almost not thinking at all when I write. You know, it just kind of happens.
Just flowing.
Yeah, nice.
And the thoughts just come together. So it's really hard for me to like justify, I chose this word because of this, when it's really, the answer usually is, I chose this word because that's what came to my head immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I'm not like other writers. I don't really like, once I write a poem, I try not to revise it too much.
Yeah.
Because I really like having the, you know, this is what it came to me as, this is how it's meant to be heard. This is the most raw version of the emotion that I showed at this moment. And, you know, I like to present that. I mean, I clean it up like spelling wise and like structure
somewhat stream of consciousness.
Exactly. And I think that's super honest. You know, those are the poems. Of course, there are poems where I'm like, I would like to write about this theme, and then I try to write it as pretty as possible because people like those poems too. You gotta diversify and just find what works.
Yeah.
You stick to one thing too long, people are like, well, I've seen it all. Time to move on.
E. Cummings did a lot of his poetry that way. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. But E. Cummings used all lowercase letters and no punctuation in his poetry because he was doing it so quickly. It was almost like stream of consciousness.
See, and that's the tough thing for me. I really like having structure in my poems, and you know, they're usually structured pretty similarly, but you know, recently I'm learning to more branch out and have more creative structures and more creative ways to do things, because that's the toughest concept for me to grasp sometimes, that you have like absolute freedom to do whatever you want with poetry.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, that overwhelms your mind. You're like, I can do anything, and it's like, I can do anything, but yet I do nothing. It's
most artists, the scariest thing for most artists is a blank piece of paper.
Oh, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
and that's certainly a worry for me every day. You know, it's not like I plan ahead and say, this is the poem I'm going to write, this is what it's going to be about today. You know, so I do get worried like a couple hours before I plan on posting something and I don't have anything, and I'm just like, well, what have I written about? Okay, can't write about that. Okay, time to just see how I feel. And, you know, I often write to music, so I try to like use different songs to elicit different emotions or different memories.
Sure.
So that's my challenge usually. I just like to write, and you know, people are often too kind with some advice when it comes to writing, and it's like, you should do something like this, and it's like, no, you can do something like that. I think I'll just stick to my style. It's like,
so how long have you been writing poetry?
How long have I been writing poetry? So, let's see. Well, you know, I just got back into it like hardcore a couple years ago, but I have been writing poetry since probably I was in 7th grade. You know, that's when it really started. I wasn't really great at writing before then. It didn't really interest me at all, honestly. I was more interested in the performing arts, like singing, acting. But, you know, once I got into 7th grade, I had a teacher I really liked, and I started writing more and more. And when we got to the poetry unit, you know, I started writing poetry and expressing myself that way. And, you know, people started to notice that it was pretty decent. So I just kept going with it ever since then. And, you know, it kind of just turned in, like I said, kind of turned into my thing where I wrote this to cope with things and as kind of my way to express myself. And, you know, it was something I pretty much did in secret, you know. A lot of poems nobody were ever meant to see, but then I decided, well, that's a little selfish, and, you know, I would like to share this. I don't reread these, so so maybe it is time to open up and share these. But I've been writing ever since then, and, you know, I started opening up back to it a couple years ago, and then this year, or I guess this last year, since it is January, this last year I started the TikTok page and started sharing my poems, and, you know, that's been going well ever since then.
Good.
So,
what's your TikTok handle?
How long ago was 7th grade?
Let's see. I graduated in 17. So.
Get out of here. Oh my God.
That was melting.
That hurt. That hurt.
Sorry.
See, I thought you. I see all the band stuff behind you, and I know that Duran Duran one from that's like one of my favorites, and I thought maybe you were a little older than that.
No, nothing wrong with not being. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm 24, so
that's cool.
Ah,
hey, as long as you're over 18, you can be here. So.
Yeah. Let's see, Duran Duran, Sammy Hagar.
Yep.
Pretty sure Journey's above that.
Journey, yeah.
And then Falco and Hocus Pocus Focus. And right above me is Blue Oyster Cult.
I was gonna say
above that is Billy Squire, and next to that is Rat and Village People. And then I have the soundtrack Vision Quest, and then Golden Earring is under that.
This is like the music that played through my teen years.
Yeah, I collect records. I really enjoy 80s music and 70s music. Most of my favorite records hang right above where I sleep. I got Mike and the Mechanics, Supertramp, Deep Purple, and Oingo Boingo. So
Oingo Boingo! Oh my god!
Yeah.
I love Oingo Boingo.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, I decided it'd be a cool way to decorate my room, just hanging all my records. So like, yeah, I have Meatloaf over there, Peter Gabriel. Whenever I just see a record I want, I usually just end up buying it. Music is a big inspiration for my writing, so I like to have as much music around me as possible.
You also sing sometimes, don't you?
I do sing sometimes. I was in choir.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. I was in choir from kindergarten all the way to senior year.
Oh, wow.
I was
beautiful voice.
Yeah, I was in a nationally ranked show choir.
Awesome.
So
nice.
I would dance and sing a lot. And, opportunities to sing kind of lessen once you leave school, but I like to stick with it. But, yeah, singing is definitely one of my passions. If I ever thought I could make a career out of it, I probably would, but it's just a hobby right now.
A hobby.
Hobbies are good.
Boy, he can really belt it out, though. I mean, if you guys go to his page,
what is your TikTok theme?
The handle is Zesty Poems. So, yeah.
His poems are wonderful, but his singing is like really, really good.
I spelled that wrong.
I keep watching the same video over and over again.
E, yeah. Oh, I see what I did. I moved my hand. They weren't on the starter keys. Anyone who ever took typing, you know what I'm talking about.
That would be Zesty Poems, which, But yeah, no. So, yeah, singing was always cool. I was in all the musicals and stuff, so I really enjoy singing. Yeah. I mean, if you enjoy music, you gotta enjoy singing. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I belt in my car a lot.
I enjoy singing. People just don't enjoy listening to it. But
sometimes she sends me recordings of her in the car singing, and where she drops off, then I start.
Oh yeah, no.
Sometimes I think it's a game we play just because we're bored.
Yeah,
I get it.
Name that tune.
Yeah, trust me. I met plenty of people who were like, "I'm a good singer," and then they're like, "You are a singer." I don't know about that good description, but like with things like that, it's like as long as you like to do it, I don't care.
If you're enjoying yourself, it's okay.
Exactly.
It's not hurting anybody else.
Unless you're like actively annoying me, then we then we can talk about it.
I'm a fantastic singer. Are you ready? See? Fantastic.
Beautiful mouth.
Interesting you would go immediately with Hanson, but
I know. It's I was listening to records and I was like, I'm gonna go with Hanson because that's funny.
Not my initial first choice for singing.
I know. That's why I picked it.
The The reason I know it is because of her. I've never been into boy bands.
I was like, what record would he never have on his wall? Hanson. We're going with it.
Now, was Hanson be considered a boy band? I mean, I know they were.
Technically,
they were more like a
Technically,
band
yes.
band.
But when I think of boy band, I think of they don't write their own music, they don't play their own instruments, any of that.
That's true.
That is true.
Which is not true of Hanson, but technically, I guess they kind of are.
Huh.
Yeah.
They are.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're still making music.
They're all growing up now.
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
think.
I'm not a avid Hanson follower. I didn't know that.
I forgive you. It's okay. I forgive you. I accept your apology.
She'll keep us in the loop.
Oh gosh.
I'm not an avid follower either, but it's just funny to bring it up every now and then and see people's reactions.
Oh no, I know a lot of music, so catching me off guard with a song pretty hard. You know what I mean? I'll play like games with my mom where it's like, guess this 80s song, and I will beat her almost every single time. Even though like she was very much alive in the 80s and very much part of that culture, I still know more about some of the music than she does.
Well, we didn't always have accessibility to music.
Yeah, we didn't.
In the 80s. Whatever was on the radio mostly.
Yeah.
And if you were buying albums, you'd usually buy the album or the CD or the cassette or the CD, depending on when you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you picked that one out because of one song you heard on the radio and you liked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally get it.
So do
Then
you
Apple
have?
came.
I have another question. Who are your favorite living poets?
My favorite living poets?
Yeah.
Okay, so fun share time. I don't really read poetry that much. For being a
okay.
poet,
Okay.
I don't really read other
That's
people's
okay.
poems because honestly, sometimes I read it and I'm like, wow, that's way better than mine. Now I'm sad. Or it's just I had the same problem with theater. It's like I like doing it, but I don't like watching other people do it. Like if you took me to a play, I'd sit there and just be bored.
Yeah.
Or I'd overanalyze and be like, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's
And
wrong.
it's like, I don't know. I do have like I said, I get more of my motivation from music. I feel like music resonates with me more, and like lyrics and music, because music is poetry in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So I know you try to keep diversified, but do you have like a go-to music that something that just really speaks to you most?
Yeah. So when I'm writing, depending on my mood, I try to pick something that's like not super intense or like super lyric heavy. Usually something that repeats is usually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song that was popular on TikTok that I happened to like before I was even on TikTok, called After Dark by Mr. Kitty. That song is really good to write to. I enjoy it a lot because it repeats a lot and it's very like soft keyboard. I enjoy that. There are some 80s songs I really like to write to as well. Overkill by Men in Work is a good one. Ashes to Ashes by David Bowie. You know, stuff like that. I really enjoy writing to that because I like the lyrics too. My favorite song probably ever is Major Tom Coming Home by Peter Schilling. I actually have a few of his records hanging up here. I really
Hubby
like
knows that song by heart.
Oh, really? Yeah, I really love that song. I think it's cool. I love the German. I have a record with the German version on it and a record with the American version on it. So
cool.
I enjoy listening to music like that that's like very not too intense. Like I listen to a lot of rock music too. And that's more, I use that to more write when I'm upset. Because it's easier. But
that makes sense.
So like I become my thoughts are very quick and very sporadic, but I find if I have something that is almost like, I'll describe it like a metronome, something that is just going on and repeat in the background, it really helps me focus my thoughts a lot. And so that's kind of what I do. I put on music. It's hard for me to write without music because, you know, it needs to be like a specific feeling I've got to really write well. You know, I usually only write when it's dark because I like when it's dark better than I like when it's really light outside. Back when I was in college, there was this room with a bunch of windows and where the light would hit it from the moon, and I would sit in there until like 3 a.m. just writing. So I would enjoy that, listening to music at volume.
And then you get up at 4.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That is exactly it. Look, I'm one of those people, I either go to bed at like 8 or 9 and then wake up at 4, or I stay up all night and just crash the next day all day.
Yeah.
My writing and video games keep me plenty company. So
yeah.
So you play video games?
I do.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing.
I already asked him.
Okay, like almost every night we have some kind of game going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we do Bitches with Switches, which is all Switch games, and then we do Gaming with Vixie. That's me. Do you have Mario Kart?
I do not, actually.
Oh.
You just broke our hearts.
Yeah.
I don't have Mario Kart because I'm bad at Mario Kart. And I don't
Oh, it's so much fun.
But the more you play it, the better you get, right, Liza?
That's true. I still don't play it well, but I can play.
I'm too competitive for that. All
Oh, no.
just be like, eh.
Oh, I wish Rabbit was up and could have heard you say that. Rabbit is our competitive soul on here.
Oh.
Yeah,
he forgets when we do teams.
I am really good at like other racing games, but Mario Kart I am terrible at because it's more of a.
What else do we play? Splatoon 2.
I'm pretty bad at Mario Kart too, but I keep
play
trying.
I play a lot of RPGs and stuff, so that's more my speed. Stuff that like takes 120 hours, and then you feel bad about yourself once it's over.
It sounds like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you look at the screen and you're like, I wish I had friends. As you turn off the switch and cry into your pillow.
Well, that's why we play the games that we play, is because you can play with a group of people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally part of the criteria of the games that we play together.
Well,
how many people can play with us?
Right now I'm playing the new Pokemon a lot,
So is Rabbit.
That's one of the things that people play in the lounge together.
Yeah.
Play and talk.
Yeah, I've put in many hours. I just got the Switch OLED, so I've been enjoying it.
So what else do you do when you're not writing?
What else do I do when I'm not writing? Well, I read. I like to read.
But not poems.
No.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I just don't like reading poetry. I don't even read my own poetry. I write it and then I never look at it again because it embarrasses me.
Oh no!
That's terrible.
Oh, I know, because I'll be like rubbing my eyes and going, why did I say that?
Oh no!
What mindset was I in? But, let's see. Video games. I watch a lot of horror movies, so.
Wesker, are you listening?
So, yeah, I'm pretty much a horror movie historian at this point with how many I've watched. My subscription to Shudder has been long renewed, so I like doing that. And I really like scary movies, so I try to find as many as I can and watch them. Most of them.
What do you like about them?
What do I like about scary movies? I like that they don't take themselves too seriously more often than not.
Okay.
You know, I feel like a lot of other cinema is really, you know, is really politically charged or just like is pushing a message, and with horror movies it's just like you can unwind, have fun, and you know, you can just watch it and not have to think too hard. So I mean, some horror movies.
I felt like if I asked this person that question, I was gonna get a good answer, and I do like that answer because I don't care for horror movies because they don't scare me. They're just kind of laughable most of the time. So I really don't get why people like them. But you put it very well. That makes sense what you said.
I don't necessarily find them all that scary either. I mean, once you've watched a good number of them, you pretty much know what to expect.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then there's a movie that'll come along that bothers you. I mean, or like really makes you think. And, you know, everybody has something they're afraid of. And more likely than not, some of these made a movie about it. So, So, I just like, I don't know. I just like horror movies seem to have like a really close-knit community as well.
This is true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that work in horror movies like each other and like work together a lot and usually have like good times during filmings. You don't really hear about this controversy happened behind the scenes. It's more like,
that's true.
Here's all the cool stuff that happened behind the scenes, like all the special effects. And I feel like there's like a lot of true like art that goes into scary movies. I mean, some of our some of our best directors like started in scary movies, or in my opinion, a lot of really great directors directed scary movies. Like, I mean, James Cameron did Aliens and did Terminator 2, which is more of an action movie, but I mean, well, actually, James Cameron, I believe, I don't remember if he directed it or produced it, but his like one of his first big movies was a Piranha 2, oddly enough. So but
usually the only reason I see a horror movie is because someone said, "Oh, you gotta watch this."
And I don't know. There are not many movies where I'm like, you need to watch this, but there are some scary movies I'm like, yeah, you need to watch this. This is a really good one. So,
my friend made me watch White Noise. Have you ever heard of that one?
I have. I'm not really big into like.
I was mad. The end made me mad.
Yeah, I'm not really big
into
like 2000s horror movies, like especially like the ghost ones. I'm more slasher movies. I really like slasher movies. I think they're fun. Like
the first one I ever saw, I got kicked out of the theater because I was laughing.
Which one was it?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really? See, Nightmare on Elm Street has some creepy moments. The first one does.
The first one was hilarious.
No, the third one's hilarious. The third one's probably
Now, I
the
did
best
like
one.
Wes Craven's Nightmare. I did watch that.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare with Heather Langenkamp. Yeah.
That one I liked.
Yeah, that one was really good. I mean, scary movies have a lot of potential, and even if you don't get scared easily, I mean, they're still fun to be had. So, like,
I watched a scary movie the other day with John.
What was it?
Yeah, what was it called?
It was called Prom Night.
Oh, yeah, which one? The one with Jamie Lee Curtis or the
Yeah.
remake? Yeah, the original.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. There's also there's a direct sequel to it called Hello, Mary Lou, which I didn't like as much, but like I said, I've seen a lot of horror movies.
I like, if I'm going to watch them, I like them to be really visually impacting for me. So one of my favorites, some people would call it horror, some people won't, but The Cell.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It is scary as hell, but it's beautiful. at the same time?
Let's see, visually striking horror movies. The one that immediately comes to mind is Dario Argento's Suspiria. It is an Italian movie made in the 70s about a dance school that's ran by witches. And the use of color and the use of it's very creepy. It's very surreal. Like, a lot of the shots are like, look like very disturbing paintings almost. So I really enjoyed that one.
I have that one up.
Yeah, I have that one over in my movie collection. I have a lot of scary movies in my movie collection over there.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah.
When we were putting movies on our drive, we realized we had heist movies and dystopian society type movies. And then we had the chick flicks that my husband made me watch.
Chick flicks.
I don't care for chick flicks.
My movie collection almost entirely is made up of Godzilla movies and scary movies. Yep, Godzilla and Ultraman. Those are the two things I collect the most of. Because I grew up with all these Japanese monster movies because my dad liked them. And I never grew out of it, so I spend too much money on stuff like that.
Speaking of scary movies, Eliza just glitched.
I noticed.
Did I?
It was really cool. It looked like you got hit by lightning, but it didn't stay. So
cool.
Yeah, but see, as much as I love scary movies and stuff, the funniest part is I cannot go to haunted houses.
Really?
Not because
is it the jump scares?
Is that not? It's not for the reason you think. It's not because they scare me. It's because my immediate reaction is to punch.
Yeah.
So if somebody jumped out at me,
that's Vixie too.
Yeah, they would have a very, very bad day.
When I went to Universal Studios Haunted, what is it called? Halloween Haunt?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, it's the first time they had it, and I walked in with my friend, and there was these people on rollerblades, and then they had like metal spoons, and they were making sparks up. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's kind of cool to watch. But I started walking away, and one of the girls snapped them right behind my ear, and I grabbed both of her arms and went like this.
Oh, no.
She didn't get hurt. I was very gentle on the lay down part, but she scared the piss out of me. And I was going to hurt somebody.
Oh, yeah, I don't mess around with stuff like that. I've seen too many horror movies to know the exact scenarios in which I should avoid.
They're having sex. They're next.
I just saw it again.
Or it's like, oh, dang, I heard a noise in that dark part of the room. All right. Time for me to leave. Why would I go check that out? I'm not going over there.
I don't remember who the comic was, but this is one of my favorite bits of his spiel. And here's the white woman with an apron. She's lived in this house for 28 years and has never been in the basement. All of a sudden she hears noises and says, "Hello? Is anyone down there? Come on down to Price Right." And she goes down there. No, get out of the house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing anything like that. No, I used to work at a movie theater. And the only time I would ever get scared was at night when we were closing up. I would have to check the theaters.
That's creepy.
And then I would have to turn the lights off. Oh my goodness. It is very creepy. It's like surreal because, you know, when you go to a movie theater, they're usually full or it's lit up or there's people.
Right.
And just to see that stuff completely empty, it does freak you out a little bit.
There's a lot of space.
Yeah, especially when you turn the lights off or you have to yell in, is anybody in there? And you're like, please, for the love of God, if somebody answers, You can rob us. I'm running out that door.
I know the code to the safe.
Yeah.
Just spare my life.
Like, I'm not messing around with this. If you like pop up at me, you're getting thrown across the room. Yeah, I'll tell you some hilarious stories about experiences with haunted houses.
My first haunted house.
Oh no!
I actually did break the guy's arm. I was 6 or 7, and my father took me this. It was a wax museum. It was on Mackinac Island in Michigan, if anyone knows where that is. And it's this huge wax museum, but they have a haunted, like a haunted section.
Yeah.
And there's tons of doors that aren't open, and it's dark, and all of a sudden I felt a hand on my shoulder. I grabbed the hand and slammed the door into it, and I broke the guy, and I broke his arm.
See, that's surprising because most
they're not supposed to touch you.
Yeah, they're not supposed to touch you, and if they do, you have to like sign a release or say this is definitely okay.
He was yelling at my dad, and my dad said, "All right, here's what happened. My daughter, who's not even a teen yet, shut the door on your person's hand. You're in trouble, not me."
Oh yeah, I don't.
That's right.
I would never go to one of those places where they can like touch you and stuff.
Mm-mm.
They always take it like way too far.
Yeah, I don't like those kind of haunts. First of all, I don't know you well enough for you to be touching me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why do I have this infectious disease? Oh, I went to this haunted house. It was pretty intense. That was the scariest part.
What was the scariest part? The doctor appointment after the gathering.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh boy.
Yeah, so I like all things scary except actually going into haunted house.
Yeah, I'm not.
I actually considered being a haunter a couple of times, but I never did it.
I've done it a couple times. It's fun. But, you know, you run into people who just won't buy into it, so they just take all the fun out of it. It's like, ooh, that's not scary. And they're laughing at you, and you're just like, I'll show you how scary I can be. Like, I know you're trying to impress your girlfriend, guy, but don't insult me too much.
Don't insult me too much.
But, yeah.
I don't have to insult people to impress my girlfriends.
You tell him, Mel.
The other bad part for me is just wearing costumes and getting way too hot. And, like, the moment somebody gets out of eyesight, running for a water bottle, like...
No, I can't do that. I can't be hot. I can't be sweaty. Nope.
No, that's one of the reasons I passed on the offer. I was going to work for Skull Kingdom in Orlando.
I mean, luckily most are in October, so usually it's pretty decently cool outside to balance it out.
Florida.
Nothing will work.
Even in Florida.
We have a lot of indoor ones here in Florida.
From what I've heard of Florida, I feel like it's scary enough without haunted houses. I watched a video of a dude just like sniping iguanas at a golf course.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was like, oh man. Like Dan Aykroyd in the Twilight Zone movie. Yeah.
You see something really scary?
Oh goodness, who else was in that?
Oh, it's all big names, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forget who else was in that bit though.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, the Twilight Zone movie is kind of infamous because a lot of people actually died on the set of that movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, during a helicopter stunt. I don't remember if the helicopter crashed, but I remember like a lot of people got hurt. Some got killed. Like it's an infamously.
Yeah, they had an actual helicopter. This guy was over here, Vic Morrow, was carrying these two Vietnamese kids. It was the redemption arc of his particular thing that they were able to do. He saving these kids, and actually some of the explosions, one of the rigs hit the helicopter, and the thing just came down right on top of it.
Oh,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah,
That's tragic.
It actually showed on camera one of the blades hit Morrow right in the chest.
Oh.
There was a lot of safety rules.
Yeah,
implicated afterwards.
That's during like
Yeah.
the first big skit of the movie when he's going through history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course it ends with the John Lithgow on the airplane, seeing the gremlin on the wing.
Yep.
Which everybody remembers.
That has become a meme in our society. That's why.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, no. Yeah, do you want to see something really scary? It's so weird to think that's Dan Aykroyd. But
pardon me.
Yeah, no, I just
It's gonna sound weird for a minute. The guy who played Marlin on Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
In the opening scene with him and Dan, it was him and Dan Aykroyd in the thing. I was like,
okay.
I know who the other guy was, but I can't think of his name. Albert Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Albert Brooks. He's driving along and Aykroyd is he's driving and Aykroyd they're like, oh no, pebbles on the road. And he turns off the headlights as he's driving. The guy's like, don't do that. And then finally he's like, okay, you want to see something really scary? Pull over.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then did you watch the movie? It was a nice little jump scare.
Yeah, it's very similar to the. Honestly, it's kind of similar. It reminds me of the scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. If you've seen that, the large Marge scene.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that a lot. I love that movie. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think there's something cool about scary movies and just some of the stuff they've done over the years, and just like I said, tight-knit community. There's a lot of artistry there, and those movies aren't afraid to just have fun. And I feel like, especially nowadays, there's a lot of movies don't know how to cut loose anymore. I mean, you don't get movies that are like old school B movies anymore.
Yeah.
That have like such a campy tone, and there's just so much fun.
The last one I could think of is Idle Hands.
Idle Hands, yeah.
That was hilarious, but it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah, with like Seth Green.
Seth Green was the lead, yeah.
Cabin Fever is one I can think of. That was kind of a B movie.
I seen that one.
You seen that one?
And I think it's mostly because, there's all these like Sharknado type movies that kind of fill that quota now.
I never watched that. I just couldn't.
It's not.
It was too much.
Not good. But no, like movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you don't see movies like that anymore, and it's kind of sad that you don't.
Yeah.
You don't see these lower budget movies do as well as they could. Oh, good.
Well, that's because Hollywood is padded by our government.
If you want a good horror movie to watch that's like really funny, I recommend highly Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you haven't
seen that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, it's more funny than it is scary. It has Alan Tudyk and
I love Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I forget what the other guy's name is. He was on a show I really liked called Reaper, but yeah, it's hard to explain. It's like it flips a lot of the horror tropes on its head, and it's just really good. I highly recommend you watch it. I think that one's really good. So if you come away with one thing other than I like poetry, it's watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay. You had me sold at Alan Tudyk. It's fine.
Yeah. It's a B movie, so it's on most streaming services. So, but it's really fun. It's really enjoyable watch. But I don't know if that really translates into my poetry that much, but like it's kind of the same idea. It's something I love, something that's kind of a niche taste in a lot of ways. And I just look at it like that. It's like something to express myself, something to have fun. If other people don't like it, it's just not for them. And I understand that. And, I'm not doing it to please everyone. I'm doing it to please those who need it. So.
Yeah. So
I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I sure got good coffee.
Do you like Wheel of Fortune?
Do I like Wheel of Fortune?
Do you like to? Would you like to play Wheel of Fortune?
Sure.
we
play Wheel of Fortune on Sunday mornings at 11.
So tomorrow at 10 for
11.
me.
Well, what time zone are you in?
It's 8 p.m. right now. So.
Oh, okay. So tomorrow at 10.
Okay, I will see if I can. I'll have to double check because I might have some things going on, but I will look.
That's cool.
Oh no, Wheel of Fortune is definitely priority. I'm just kidding.
Either way, whether you want to or not, I'll mail you the link.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good at Wheel of Fortune. So.
I might have some competition.
Hey, I like board games and stuff. So my family plays a lot of Yahtzee. That's their board game.
We would play more board games, but they just don't really translate well on this kind of
online.
Yeah. It's kind of tough. You guys have probably heard of Jackbox games, right?
Oh, we do that every
love
week.
Jackbox games.
We play that a lot.
We play those on Wednesdays. Come back on Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Well, thank you for.
We also play Cards Against Humanity every so often.
Yeah,
the
we're
game that's
eclectic.
fun. The game that's fun for 20 minutes, and then you're like, aha.
We've gone over in time, actually. Because we have all different decks. People have
okay, that's good.
all different decks, and it's
We
hilarious.
used to in high school. We played it. We used to play with the base deck, and it's like, how many times can you hear the same outrageous stuff before you're like, okay, let's move on to something else? But no.
Next.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you have to have different decks.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Happy to be invited back. I'm glad my presence has been enjoyable.
I adore
Absolutely.
you. I think you should come back.
So.
I have now extended multiple invitations.
Yay! All right, so it is past our time now, love. I don't know much, but it's my airplane, so I get to land it when I want. So thank you so much for coming tonight. I hope you have a great
Really and truly.
evening. And hopefully we'll get some more people following you over on the TikTok.
That would be great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Mel, what you got to say for yourself?
My throat is really dry. I'm out of water. And remember that people make time for what's important to them. So make some time to like, subscribe, join the Discord. And I'll see you tomorrow for coffee. Love you. Bye.
Eliza, we were both wearing blue.
I know. My throat is really dry and I'm out of water too. Read a book. Read a book. It's good for your brain. Read Kane's book. It's good.
Yeah.
It'll be good for your brain.
Good.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
Remember, we're all made up of the stuff of stars, and that makes us extraordinary creatures. So find your spark, ignite your passions, and make your dreams come true. I believe in each and every one of you. And if you ever need me, I'm just a DM away on our Discord channel. All right. Have a great night, everyone.